Hello, Flaming Being. Hi, how you doing? And today we're watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 5, Episode 10. I have been nervous literally all day leading up to me watching this because I am nervous. It's like, maybe if I just don't watch the episode, Joyce won't die, you know? Obviously, I don't know if Joyce dies, but there's a big possibility of her dying in this episode, and I just thought I won't be able to live through that. Please don't make me watch that if she does. Please, I don't want to see it. Hopefully she's fine. I would just hate for her to die this way, you know? Like, it's too real, okay? In a world where there's vampires and demons and stuff, she can't die from a tumor. That's rude. Either way, last episode was a fucking roller coaster. It was just a lot. I got a couple comments of people like being like, well, I enjoyed the episode a little more than most, here's why. And I think it's just, I love so many parts of that episode. It's literally just the monster. Like, if they made it like a regular demon, like, that was summoned by Ben, sure, fine. I would have been so much more into it. But then they made it an alien, they brought in, like, you know, Riley's whole military thing, and it was just like, okay, a little much, you know? But either way, a lot of people said that they feel like this is a connector type of episode, which is what I was thinking. I forgot to mention it in my last review, but I felt like that. I felt like this was the last episode was a big connector episode from episode 8 to this one, because assuming that this episode continues on with, like, the whole Joyce thing, and maybe even the Riley thing, it just felt like it's the middle part of, like, you know, like the beginning and the end of, like, that whole arc. So hopefully with this episode, maybe I'll, like, you know, the entire plot line itself, maybe that'll get wrapped up, or, like, feel like it's wrapped up, you know? I'm not sure how much longer the Joyce thing. I feel like the Joyce thing, like, her tumor and everything, is going to end in this episode. Hopefully she doesn't end. That'd be sad. But I hope, like, that whole plotline, I think, ends. And hopefully the Riley thing ends and they just break up. I'm just waiting for the day. I mean, y'all already know. I'm waiting. Hopefully, like, that same episode, he's just off the credits too, you know? Just, boom, 2 birds, 1 stone. Just take him off the show, you know? I just am not into him anymore. And I'm just so, like, exhausted by the presence of him. I feel so bad. But, yeah. Either way, long story short, I am so excited for this episode, but I'm also very nervous. So without further ado, let's just get into it. Are they at the hospital? Oh no. Alright, all of them are there. Please. Oh my god, they have to talk. Break it off now, please. Put me out of my misery.
It's just me. Sorry.
Yes, hi. She coming out? Oh my god. Not the slow zoom. No. Dude, she's fine. Fucking rude! But also, a thought I just had. Remember that season... Was it season 1? Or is it season 2? Near the end of one of those seasons, we had the episode... Oh, he's still there. Where Buffy was in the hospital, and there was this whole thing where, like, Buffy hates hospitals, and I wonder why they've never brought that back. Or in, like, for, you know, this, because they spend the entire episode in the hospital. You know, she's got enough going through her mind, you know? Please.
Okay, your mom's in recovery.
Oh, thank God. Oh.
Right.
Your mother's going to be fine. Of course, we're still going to have to watch your mother carefully and have her back in here for some follow-up testing.
Yo,
but,
why am I crying? Oh, I'm so
overall,
happy.
I consider...
Oh, and so... Does that mean something bad's gonna happen later? Please, I'm so...
Oh, my goodness. And then Buffy would chase me around the house yelling, I am the Slayer, I'm going to get you.
That's disturbing. You're emotionally scarred and will end up badly.
No, it was great. I mean, she didn't actually make a big deal for me. I'm only sleeping over here so Buffy and Riley can boink.
No, that's not it at all. They just need time to be tender.
Marty Noxon,
Relax.
please, spare me. Spare me, Marty. Maybe they could have a talk about what Riley has been up to. Perhaps.
So I had that scheduled for a little later on.
Scheduled? Are you planning on seducing me, Mr. Finn?
Always.
I really dislike this man.
You never even cried.
Oh, I cried.
I cried too.
I cried so hard I didn't think I was gonna be able to stop.
He's like, you didn't cry on my shoulder? What the fuck? I feel so icky after the scenes with Riley the past 2 episodes. I don't like it. Okay, Marty. Cut it. Cut it now. She won't give me satisfaction of doing that, will she? Is Spike outside? Please. Spike. That's a little weird. A little weird, my guy. So you're gonna go see a little back alley vamp right now? Spike's gonna be like, where you going, bud? I cannot believe this shit. What a bitch! Okay, lighting. Yes? Gonna get caught, bitch!
And I'm sure he'll come over later looking for a little Bible study.
Well, good.
Buffy.
I mean, just as long as the two of you are spending some quality time with the Lord.
We are.
Please.
Belize, last transmission.
They're still there?
Let's bring him on board.
What the fuck?
Might take a little convincing.
Why? What's he got here in Sunnydale that's so special?
Oh, there's his out. Leaves with the military. Let's fucking go. You got it.
Riley?
Marty, brilliant. Brilliant.
me.
Oh, hey.
You need to see this.
What Riley's doing.
But we need to move if we want to get there in time.
I'm sorry. Oh, God. Now she's gonna see this? Poor Buffy. She literally can't have a good day. The one day where her mother gets out of surgery, she's completely fine. She's gotta deal with this shit from Riley. Oh, Buffy. I feel so sad for Buffy. Pack your bags, bitch. He belongs to the streets. Kick his ass out. No, no. I don't need to see with her crying again, please. Oh, and his buddy there. Like, hey, we're enlisting. Join the military. He just has one of those booths that set up at high schools. Like, hey, have you heard about enlisting? We can pay for your college.
Yeah. We ship out for Central America tomorrow midnight. Now maybe civilian life is working out for you.
It is not. Thank you for asking.
I'm sorry, Willow. Thank you for making time in your busy life to come in here and get in the way of mine.
Anya, play nice.
Anya.
Fine.
What?
Take her side instead of mine.
Goodness.
I'm going to
Hostility.
sleep. Oh, that's been going on for centuries. Humans hire vampires to feed off them. They get off on the rush.
And the danger. The hazards of the underworld can become addictive to...
You knew about this and you didn't tell me?
I haven't seen it since my Ripper days. I had no idea it was
My
going
Ripper
on in
days.
Sunnydale.
Giles.
They're willing victims. I mean, there are people out there who deserve your help who aren't.
Vampires are vampires, and my job description is pretty clear.
She just
Are
needs
you
something
coming
to
with me or
fight.
not?
Wait for Riley.
You will absolutely
up or
not
not?
be doing that.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll get them next time, champ.
Okay. Yeah. Arson, let's go. She wanna see him? Oh.
What
Oh,
took you?
hi, Riley. Haha.
Don't kill the messenger.
Why the hell not?
Fucking rude. He didn't just kill Spike, right?
Plastic wood grain. Looks real, doesn't it? Don't think I don't know what's going on with you, Spike.
Oh.
Stay away from her. We'll do this for real next time.
Oh, goodness.
Look at you. All afraid I'm hot for your honey.
Because you are.
Well,
Well,
yeah. But that's not your problem.
You actually think you got a shot with her?
No, I don't. Fella's got to try, though.
I was about to say, I mean, we could try.
Really can.
I mean,
If you touched
in
her,
reference to you, feels like a better option,
know I can
honestly.
do it.
Sometimes I envy you so much it chokes me.
Oh, so we having this conversation?
And sometimes I think I got the better deal. To be that close to her and not have her. Be all alone, even when you're holding her.
Buffy. Oh, what are you doing here, bitch?
she in there? She's training.
Little after hours hanky panky in the training room, huh? Alexander and I can tell you some stories.
Please
Let's go,
don't,
Anya.
Anya,
There's a funny
please,
thing with the vaulting
please.
horse.
I just need you to hear me out.
Fine.
I'd love to hear
Put your
this.
hand
Yeah,
off of
tell
me.
me what you're gonna say.
I wanted to even the score after you let Dracula bite you.
I did not let Dracula.
I know. On some level, I know that.
Is he?
I was still spun. I don't know.
He's Dracula.
I
What?
wanted to know what you felt. They made me feel something, Buffy. Something I didn't even know I was missing until...
I can't hear this.
You need to hear this.
She really doesn't.
Tell me what on earth they were giving you that I can't.
Please, Buffy.
They needed me.
Ew.
They needed your money.
My blood, my body.
Me. Shut the fuck up.
It was beyond passion.
They're a
They
vampire.
wanted to devour me.
Yeah.
All of me. Hunger for me.
And I don't make you feel that way?
Please.
And you think that I don't feel the same way about you? How dare you tell me what I feel?
You keep me at a distance, Buffy. You didn't even call me when your mom went into the hospital. It's about letting me in, so you don't have to be on top of everything all the time.
But I do. That's part of what being a Slayer is.
They want me back, Buffy. The military.
And go.
It's deep
Go.
undercover. I'm leaving, Buffy.
Oh no.
Unless you give me a reason to stay.
It's just a chance to say, hey, get out right now. It's the end of you and me. It's too late, and I can't wait for you to be gone. 'Cause I know.
But I will admit, Riley did have a single point during all of that. But it's like, when you weigh it all, it's like, you know. How iconic of her. Buffy. Oh my god.
I mean, I thought he was dependable.
Dependable? What is he, State Farm?
You know what I mean.
Yeah, I think you mean convenient.
Look who's talking. Look who has Anya following him around like a lovesick puppy.
Oh boy, is this not about me.
Is she more than a convenience? Because that would kind of be a surprise.
If he's not the guy, if what he needs from you just isn't there, let him go. But if you really think you can love this guy, I'm talking scary, messy, no emotions barred need.
Xander has his moments, please.
Run.
If she gets there and he's already gone, I'm gonna be livid. No shot. Absolutely no shot. It's so fucked. She's ready to let him leave. She makes a decision to try and make it work. And he leaves anyway. I've had it.
I get excited every time I'm about to see you. You make me feel like I've never felt before in my life. Like a man.
What is this? Oh, Xander.
I just thought you might want to know.
Get out right now. It's the
So this one was called Into the Woods. Honestly, I don't know what that... Into the Woods? What, her going after Riley? Yay. Written and directed by Marty Noxon. Marty Noxon put me out of my misery right this very second! And it has a 7.3 rating. Which... yeah. This episode was like I said before, I did feel like this was going to be like the end part of like the last 2 episodes, so it did feel like all of that was leading up to this, which I enjoyed, but yeah, so Riley is actually gone. I mean, so that was interesting. Yeah, so let's just go through this freaking episode. So the beginning is at the hospital, and listen, I am so happy Joyce is okay. I was literally preparing myself for her to die in this episode because I just had a gut feeling that she was gonna die for some reason, like there was a complication or something. But I am so happy she is okay. Literally, and now like she knows about Dawn, and I'm just so happy. I'm literally so happy. But yeah, so she came out of surgery, yada yada, all good and dandy, and. Well, first of all, kind of fucking rude to cut to the credit, like, the title sequence, and, like, as they're coming, like, the doctor's coming out being like, so, and then it cuts. Rude, for one thing. Yeah, so then we got, Dawn at Xander and Anya's. I love them so much. Listen. I don't know what it is about this season. I don't know what it is, but Xander suddenly is just, like... has, like, I just love Xander's character right now. Him in this episode, chef's kiss. Love it. If you had told me in season 1 that I would have loved him this much, I would have been like, what happens? And it's, he meets Anya. I wanna cry. They're, like... Because, like, I already told you guys, their relationship was always so confusing to me, because it felt like Xander didn't really like her that much, you know? And then at the end, it's like him, like... I'm not gonna lie, I teared up. I was so emotional just with that. I was like, Xander, please. Please. But, yeah, so then... we get Buffy and Riley, they do the double tango, and then Spike's outside again. Spike, I'm trying to ride the bike with you. You're making it difficult for me. Again, which I feel like, it's like, he's a vampire, so, like, he just does whatever the fuck he wants, you know? So, like, this behavior from a human... questionable, wouldn't really ship with Buffy. It's a vampire, it's Spike, we've known him forever, so you know it's fine, you know? I feel like a lot of the people, like, kind of have, like, the same kind of, like, they're just joking, like, yeah, he's stalking her, it's fine. Which, again, not good behavior, but it's Spike, so I think I'll allow it. Him stalking her and, like standing outside of her house. Listen, he doesn't have anything better to do. He doesn't have a job. You know, I haven't seen Harmony in a hot second, so he doesn't really have Harmony. It's okay. Yeah, so then Riley leaves, Spike follows him, and Riley goes to... Which, this is weird. So, sorry, let me back up a second. Sorry, I was all over the place right then trying to explain something, but... So... I was very confused while watching because I thought that the episode itself was like So it was at night when Riley went and Spike followed. Then it flashes to the next day where Buffy's at Joyce's like hospital room, and then it flashes back to that last night, and Spike brings her. But I think it's like that night, next morning, then the next night. So, but while watching, it was like, wait, what? Did she like just go there and then it flashed back? But now it makes sense. But yeah, Buffy with Joyce. Please, that is just, I don't know. Again, it just hit close to home with me too. Like with the whole wigs thing, because when I was in elementary school, my mom, she had a big flare up when she first got diagnosed with her autoimmune disease. And she had autoimmune, thyroid, all these kinds of problems. And her hair was thinning a lot. Like she was clumps of hair falling out every day. So when I was in elementary school, she had a wig that she would wear sometimes if she went out with all of us. And it just reminded me of that. I'm like, oh, it makes me want to cry. Like, I'm just like, I love Joyce so much, and I am so happy that she's okay right now. Yeah, so then it was also interesting how in that scene, it was like Buffy being like, oh, I don't think Riley wants to be with me, or like, you know, hang out with me today, or like, you know, it's not his obligation. And then Joyce is like, it's not an obligation, he's your boyfriend, that's what they do, they want to hang out with you, you know? And then she also said this thing where it was like, well, I have Riley anytime, you know? If I wanted to hang out with him, I can have him anytime. Which it's like she knows that Riley will do anything for her and is just there whenever she needs him. But she just never calls to him or like wants him there. So it's so interesting how like she unconsciously knows all of this, but like when she thinks about the relationship, she thinks that like she loves him in the same way that Riley does, but it's like looking at your behavior, you really don't like feel the same about each other. Yeah, so then we get the whole military thing, and then Spike. Oh, Spike, gotta love you, Spike. So yeah, he takes Buffy to see Riley. Very sad, very traumatic. I hate to see it, but we gotta see it. So yeah, so then Buffy goes back to her house, and then Riley goes back to his apartment, I guess. And then the military's there like, hey, we're going to a different country. Come with us. We're gonna fight vampires. And it's like, okay, well. As soon as they brought that up, I was like, oh, yeah. He's out of here. He's donezo. Cannot wait, honestly. And then we flash into the shop with Giles and everyone. I love them so much. They are just so adorable, all of them. I love Anya's character so much with like how she speaks. It's just like an endless flow of words. And it's just like, you don't know what you're gonna get, but you're gonna get something. And side note, Willow's hair this episode, it's so cute. It is so cute. I love her so much. Obviously, we didn't get Tara this episode, but you know, a little slide since it was mainly like a Buffy kind of episode with like her relationships and everything. But I just loved it so much with like all of Anya and all of that. Like Anya even like getting to stay at the shopping, like, okay, bye. Have a good day. You know, don't get yourself killed. Oh, I love her. But yeah, then Buffy comes in. So it is interesting how the whole biting thing is something that like gets people off basically, and that's why they do it. Which it's so interesting that there's another series of like books that like goes into that, and that's like a main part of that, you know, like universe with like vampires and everything. It's like a big part of like their universe, and that is so cool that like that's like a small part of this, and like that comes, I don't know, it just builds the world a lot more, and I really liked it how they brought it in. Obviously Riley and like his whole connection with it kind of fucked up, but I like the addition of it, if that makes sense. Then we go to like where Buffy saw Riley. Vamps aren't there, and yeah, then she torches the place. Awesome. I thought when it flashed to Spike, I thought Buffy was gonna go to Spike, be like, hey, you know where the vamps are, right? Where they move. But no, it was Riley. And Riley basically was like, this scene, listen, this on for like the rest of the episode is just like, So good. So good. So yeah, Riley basically was telling Spike how, like, he knows that Spike is interested in Buffy, and he's like, that's never gonna happen. Buffy's never gonna like you that way. And then it was so interesting how Spike, like, talked about Riley with, like, he's like, sometimes I'm so envious of you because, like, you have Buffy right there. But it's like, you're so close to her, yet so far away from her because of, like, mentally where you guys are at in your relationship. And it's like, it's not even that, like, one person is, like, in the wrong or, like, because, like, obviously, okay, so sorry, I have a lot of thoughts about the relationship, but it's like, I don't want to blame one of them, but it's like, in the end, I do kind of blame Riley for the whole, like, you know, the vampire thing and everything. But it's like, I do feel bad that, like, he kind of led himself to that, and he felt like that was something that he should do. Well, okay. So in the beginning of, like, the whole thing with, like, Buffy and their relationship, obviously Buffy was, you know, right out of the Angel relationship, and that was very, like, a lot for her, and obviously he's a vampire. And then you move into something a lot more stable, a lot more safe, and it's just like, it's very different. And it's like she saw how safe he was and was like, okay, this should be a good thing, you know? I should just stay here, right? Because this is just, you know, safe, and it's a good option for me because he's so, you know, dependable and nice. And it's just like, over time, normally throughout a relationship, I feel like you get more comfortable with that person, and, like, you obviously, like, you join your lives together. It's not like Buffy's life and Riley's life and they're dating. It's like, once, I feel like, at least in my point of view, after you've been dating someone for a while, like, your lives just intertwine and it's like yours, you know? I just feel like Buffy didn't really get to that, and, like, after dating for like a year, I feel like you should have been at that point already. At least in my opinion. I mean, I've been dating my boyfriend for almost 7 months, and it's like, we already are like, what are we doing today? You know, what are our plans for today? Like, it's not like, oh, I'm doing this, you're doing that. It's like, what are we doing today? What are our plans for the holidays and stuff? Like, it's like that, not very disjointed, which I feel like is what Riley and Buffy are like right at the moment. So another thing with, like, the whole, like, what drove Riley to do this with, like, the whole vampire thing, he said the Dracula drinking Buffy's blood was what led him to wanting to get his blood drank. What on earth? Where? I want to know how he made that connection and how his brain told himself that, yes, that makes sense. Let's do that. Because that makes zero sense, my guy. Like, that part made me think, like, okay, is he just coming up with some fucking excuse? Like, that makes no sense. But, I guess it kinda makes sense if, like, you think, like, Buffy's so, like, intertwined with, like, the vampire life because she's a slayer, and, like, maybe Riley feels like an outsider because he's not a slayer, he's not a vampire, you know? Obviously, Angel was a vampire, so, like, they were both, like, in the lifestyle, you know? And Riley's just not. I just keep, like, talking about them, and I'm like, they just weren't meant to be together, so it was, like, the longer that I think about it, it's just, like, they weren't meant to be together. They weren't meant for each other. And it's, like, even, later on when Riley was like, you know, why couldn't we be, like, okay, so like I just said, with, like, you know, Buffy not getting to the point where, like, both of them being together and them having, like, their own lives together, I just feel like Buffy, I don't know, I feel like she just needs some time to herself for a second. So I really hope Spike doesn't, like, dive in, like, hey, what's up? Because Buffy, I feel like, just needs time for herself to, like, figure out how she is as a person, because she does want to do everything herself. She feels like she needs to do everything herself, from, you know, being a slayer, being the older sister, having to help her mom with all the, like, the past couple episodes, It's just been like her feeling like she needs to do everything. And in that scene at the end where they're talking in like the fitness room, Riley's like, well, you just don't let me do anything, you know, you have to do everything yourself. And it's like, yeah, that's Buffy. Like, as soon as he was saying that, I'm like, yeah, that's just Buffy. That's how she is. She wants to do everything herself. And it's like, that doesn't really lend itself to being a perfect, you know, girlfriend in a relationship because she wants to do everything herself. But it's like, that's not a bad thing, you know? Like, I feel like in my own relationship, my boyfriend, he has a lot of things in his life that he likes to do just himself, you know? Which I understand, you know? He does his own thing with, like, certain parts of his life. But in all, we do have, like, things, you know? So that's the main thing that I'm concerned with Buffy. So it's, because it's, like, all these big things. Like, even just being a slayer. Being a slayer is a huge fucking part of your life. So it's like, how is that going to be intertwined into a relationship? I feel like this is going to be so hard and difficult for her to, like, direct and, like, navigate. Yeah, let's just keep going. I feel like my thoughts about them are just so jumbled up, but it's like, I don't know. It's like okay. So with all that in mind, all my thoughts about, like, the relationship in general, right now, obviously with what Riley is doing, it's like I'm mad at him for not realizing that Buffy is the way that she is, you know? It's like he's expecting her to change. And it's like, that's just how Buffy is. And it's like, if you haven't realized at this point that this is how the relationship is, I mean, a relationship isn't going to change in a year after you've already been dating. After a year, if you, like, you know that person, you know how they are in a relationship, people just don't change. I mean, they could try, but it's like things like that where, like, Buffy feels like she always needs to do things herself and, like, all these other things. That's just her. And it's like he's mad at her for not changing things about herself, but it's like, dude, she's already shown you that that's just how she is. So why are you mad at her for not changing? And then you're not telling her that you don't like that behavior. So it's like, what are you trying to do? You're trying to, like, communicate with her, but you're not even telling her what exactly is frustrating you in your relationship. Like, that's what pisses me off. I feel like he thinks that he's shown her, like, all this, but it's like, again, that is just how Buffy is. And then he goes on with the whole getting bit by vampires, and it's just, that, I think, is just what pisses me off about Riley. Like, again, you guys know I see a lot of things from multiple points of view. Both of them did bad things. They both didn't behave how they should have, but what human doesn't, you know? But it's like, that, him sleeping with Buffy, she goes to sleep, he gets up, goes to a fucking vampire nest to get sucked, and then goes back to Buffy's house and lays back down, wakes up as if nothing fucking happens. That, no. I'm sorry, but, like, for me, that sort of, like, I mean, is it cheating? I don't know. I'm sure there are arguments for it not being cheating, but, like, the connotations and all of that, it's like he's cheating on Buffy. And for me, cheating is that one thing that I'm like, absolutely fucking not. If you cheat on someone, no. I don't know, just the cheating thing. It just is one of those things that it's very hard for me to overlook that. And just fucking no thank you. Absolutely not. But yeah, so that's, like, my other thing with, like, the whole, like, Riley trying to talk to Buffy, and it's like, he had a good argument if he wasn't cheating on Buffy, but he is. So I feel like all of his arguments are just invalid from that, because it's just like, dude, you can't just blame her for pushing you to cheating on her. No, that's not how that fucking works. You can talk to someone, dude. What? So I hated the fact that he tried to pin all of that on Buffy. And I feel like that's just, like, that's it, dude. From that alone, I'm just like over Riley, and I just was not into it. But let's go on to the Xander scene. I do like the kind of look that Xander gets because obviously he's like, you guys are just having a fight, right? And he's like, come on, Buffy, come on, talk to me, da, da, da. And Buffy's like, you have no fucking idea what just happened. He literally got himself sucked off by a vampire in a back alley with a bunch of other vampires in the other room. No, thank you. And it's like this look that Xander has. He's like, I didn't know that. That's fucked up. So it's like him trying to be like, oh, okay. I just really like Xander in this episode. I'm sorry. Okay, so Xander says, if he's not the guy, if what he needs from you just isn't there, let him go. Which it's not. Like, what Riley wants, what Buffy wants, they're just not good for each other. And it's like, it just really frustrates me. I feel like that's like my one thing in this episode that I really just did not like. And it's Buffy running after Riley, and then Riley not being able to see her, and he's just going. Because it's like, it makes her choice feel like it doesn't matter. And I mean, yeah, life sucks, so sometimes choices just don't matter. But I mean, in that point where it's like, both of them are actually talking for the first fucking time in their entire relationship, and you're telling me that Buffy wanted to try and make it work, and then he just didn't hear her because of a helicopter? That just makes me frustrated. I would have much rather him, like, Buffy, like, you know, we could have had the whole montage, like, her running, Riley looking, da-da-da. I would have much rather if Riley just stopped and just, like, had a moment with herself. And then we cut back to Riley. He looks at the forest again. Nothing happening. Goes on the helicopter. He leaves. Like, Buffy made that choice with herself that she doesn't want to be with him. I feel like that would have been such, like, a better option for her character, too. Like, you know, obviously, you guys probably know Buffy's character a lot more than me, but, like, just for me, I feel like she kind of needed to do that herself, like, make that decision that she needs to stop lying to herself that Riley is some, you know, perfect guy for her. Like, yes, he is a perfect guy, but, like, Buffy doesn't really need that kind of guy, if that makes sense. Like, it's hard to say, like, what exactly she needs, but, like, Riley's character and, like, how he is and, like, in a relationship and all that, I feel like he's just more fitting for someone else other than Buffy. It's not to say that Riley's a horrible character or, like, a bad person. They just don't fit together, you know? Obviously, you bring in the cheating and all that, and it's like, okay, Riley, what the fuck? But, like, before all of that, it's like, they just weren't meant for each other. And I wish Buffy had that sort of, like, oh, yeah, we're just not, I'm gonna let him go because I don't need to have him in my life anymore, and just pretending that he should be in my life and, like, changing myself because he wants something else from me. And it's like, you know, like what Xander says, if he's not the guy, if what he needs from you just isn't there, let him go. It's not there. Just let him go. That's what frustrated me about the ending. And it's not to say that the ending was bad. Like, I loved the way that it was done, but I do wish Buffy was able to make the decision herself. Or, like, maybe even, like, she wanted to try. Riley gets there. Riley's been thinking himself, and he's like, you know what? I've been thinking too. I think it's just best if I leave. I don't think we can make this work. Just something, you know? I hate when things are like that, like, at the end of, like, a romance movie or something. Like, one of them makes, oh, this happened in Pretty Little Liars. Okay. I'm not gonna say which character, but if you don't want to hear anything, spoilers for, like, season 7, so, like, the last season. One character and this other character, they were together forever, and we have this flashback because they're no longer together in, like, that timeline right then, but they flash back to when they broke up. One character, the guy, is telling the girl, like, you can't leave. If you leave right now, I'm calling this off. She leaves. So then the girl, in a taxi, on her way to the airport, she gets this, like, oh, you know what? What am I doing? Why am I leaving him? She goes back to the apartment. He packed all of his shit, left. That pissed me off, because I'm like, are you kidding? She made the right decision. It was just too late. Like, that's just like what, obviously those two characters got together later on, and then I was like, I was happy about it. But it's like with this, it's like, I don't think Buffy made the right decision of like going after him. That's just my 2 cents on that. Maybe, I mean, the only real person that can know is Buffy herself, and she's a character, so can't really ask her. But I just don't think that them together is good. So the fact that she made that decision of, oh, I'm gonna go after him, that just made no sense to me, honestly. So yeah, so then we had the whole chase scene. She doesn't make it in time, yada yada. And then we go to Xander and Anya. Please, Xander telling her all this, like, you know, I'm in love with you, you make me feel like a man. Listen, I don't know what Xander has been on in this season, but I fucking love it. It's so... Oh, God. Oh. I'm literally crying in the club right now. I am just... Who would have thought I would have liked Xander and Anya this much? Because even, like, at the beginning of the season, I was like, well, I don't know. I feel like Xander still takes advantage of Anya. But, like, just that scene, I feel like... It's just so perfect. It's so good. I love it so much. Oh, I love it. And then we have the whole shots of Buffy and Riley's leaving. And then it cuts to black. Yay. So, yeah. This episode and all was a lot. I think it was one that we definitely needed to have, especially after, like, the last season. Like, we just needed to have this moment where, like, Buffy and Riley just, like, hash it out, figure out what the fuck they're gonna do. And they broke up, thank God. But, yeah, again, it's like I see both of their sides. Just in the end, Riley cheating on Buffy and doing all that. It's like, as soon as he did that, it's like, I can't see your point anymore, dude. Like, you lost any chance at, like, a good argument when you started cheating on Buffy and going to a fucking vampire house, getting sucked off by vampires. You see, Riley? You can't just do that and then expect that you can get Buffy back, you know? But yeah, also tell me if I'm, like, if my mentality with, like, the whole Buffy making the decision and then going after Riley, if you think that was an amazing choice, definitely tell me. I just feel like I would have much rather Buffy just make a choice for herself and not something that she thinks Riley would have wanted, you know? Because Riley wanted her to come after him, obviously, but it's like, I feel like she just isn't what Riley wants, you know? But either way, definitely tell me what you guys think about their relationship. Like I said, there are many sides to their relationship, so definitely let me know where you land on that. I mean, Riley is not a very liked character, so I'm sure a lot of people just really dislike him at this point, which definitely tell me what you guys think. But, yeah, I'm kind of excited to not see Riley ever again. I mean, I feel like we might see him in, like, 2 seasons or something, and then, like, he, like, pops in, like, hi, I have been fighting vampires or something, I don't know. But, very excited that he's just not, I mean, I'm assuming the next episode he's just not gonna be in the credits or, like, the title sequence. But, I mean, room for Tara? Just saying. But yeah, I think that is all I have to say about this episode. Goodness gracious. But the next episode that I will be watching, I think, is an Angel episode. Episode 9. So the next 3 episodes I'm going to be watching are Angel episodes 9, 10, and 11. And then we'll be back to Buffy for episode 11. So yeah, very excited to get back into Angel. But yeah, with Buffy, I'm just glad to be like kind of done with that little mini arc with Riley and all that, because that was fucking insane. And I'm excited that Joyce is okay. I'm so excited. I cannot wait for her to get back home and like all of them be together. I'm so excited. But yeah, and I'm also curious. I really hope she doesn't like Spike doesn't jump in and is like, "Hey, we should go out." Or like, you know, like I hope she does have some time for herself or something, you know? Like, you know, it's what she deserves. And yeah. Either way, I do believe that is all I have to say about this episode. So, yeah. Thank you to my beautiful patrons over on Patreon. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!